Multi-criterion evaluation. The example we're going to be looking at today is Kudzu. Kudzu is a invasive vine that is known as the vine that ate the South. It has been, or is, a majorly invasive vine in the southeastern United States that has been slowly moving northwards and has even been now seen in Leamington, Ontario, on the shores of Lake Erie. And this is a picture of this vine taken by Sam Brinkler, who is with Natural Resources Ontario, and you can see the monospecific, or it's all basically all kudzu, even growing up into the trees and everything right here. This vine, in places in the southeast of the United States, has just completely taken over entire forests. So all that's left is kudzu vine everywhere. So we'll look at kudzu. We have a single objective, which is to find the suitability for invasive species Pueraria montana, which is kudzu. So let's look at the background of kudzu, just to understand a bit about it. And the data that we'll be using is from kudzu.gdb, and that again is in the lecture 5 zip file for the module 5. So kudzu, it's perennial, which means it can die back in the winter to just the woody vines and then sprout new leaves every summer. And it can also be evergreen in areas where it does not have frost in the winters. And it grows very fast. It can go 30 centimeters a day, so the vine itself can grow up to 30 centimeters each day and 30 meters in a season. And has massive tap roots. So these are the big roots for the vine, where all the tendrils of the vine emanate from. So there's a big giant tap root that can be weighing as much as 45 kilograms. So it's a massive, like a giant carrot. Think of that. A very deep giant carrot. And you can get 30 vines growing from each root crown. So from each taproot, 30 vines. And those within a year and a season can go 30 meters each. So it very quickly can take over an ecosystem. And its range is all over the southeastern United States, from New York to Florida, and as far west as Texas. The most extensive infestations have been found in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And this is where it got the name, the vine that ate the South. And a local ecologist discovered the only known population of kudzu in Canada on a hillside near Leamington, Ontario. So that's on the north shore of Lake Erie. So we know it can survive the seasons here in this region, that region of southern Ontario, where it's much warmer, of course, than it is in Ottawa. So they don't generally have very, cold winters where it's minus 20, minus 30. There, coldest it usually will get will be minus 12, minus 14 or something in the winter. And then they have very early springs and late falls compared to us here. And so kudzu there can establish itself, and a lot of that is probably due to climate change in the last half century or so. So it's very aggressive and damages not just ecosystems, but even structures. So the vine can get quite heavy and pull down utility poles and stuff like that. It kills trees and shrubs. So especially in this region of Leamington, Ontario, we have the last remnants of the Carolinian forest there that there are anywhere in Canada, like at Point Pelee, Pelee National Park, etc. So these are areas and ecosystems that are remnants of a much warmer time in Canada that are easily going to be disturbed or destroyed by kudzu invasion if people aren't aware of it and looking out for it constantly. And it creates monospecific stands, so that means just one plant everywhere. So it decreases biodiversity, and that of course has knock-on effects to the entire ecosystem. The animals that live there, that need food, etc., they all die off as well, starve to death or whatever. In the south, not so much of a concern in Canada because we have frost and long winters of below zero temperature, but in the south it's a major issue as well with anything in the Fabaceae family, so peas, the pea family that range from acacia trees could range from acacia trees on the plains of Africa to locust trees, honey locust trees that we see all over southern Canada, for example, and even here we see a lot of locust trees. These are all types of in the pea family. But this wouldn't be much of a concern yet in Canada. Probably not until for 100 years or so, until global temperatures can provide or can get high enough to annually have some area that doesn't see a winter, for example. Once an area doesn't see a winter that has kudzu, then it could be a problem with crops like it has been in the US. And of course, it blankets trees, houses, roads, signs, all kinds of safety issues with kudzu. Now, with climate change affecting the seasons, right, we're having milder winters, longer, hotter summers. It's expected that the growing conditions in southern Canada, not just near Leamington and Pelee and stuff like that, but other places can become optimal for kudzu establishment. So it can grow on pretty much any types of soils. It's really just limited by climate, more or less. So climate is an important limitation for kudzu. And there's been other links between kudzu, especially in the southern U.S., with that and kudzu monospecific stands, lots of them. So kudzu everywhere, and increases in nitrogen dioxide in the atmosphere, so up to 2 times their increase, for example. And so it affects air quality. That's how large and troublesome this particular species is. It can actually change the air quality in the regions surrounding the kudzu. You can learn more about kudzu at these links, so the invasivespecies.com, kudzu, and the Ontario page for kudzu as well, the government page for looking at invasive species.